Well, greetings fellow dwarfers. Today my top 5 episodes from the Doug era. We'd normally refer to this as the Dave era, but I'm calling it the Doug era because I'm going to include Series 7 and Series 8, which kind of flips us back into the BBC era. So we've got Series 7, Series 8, Back to Earth, Series 10, 11, 12, and The Promised Land to choose from. So my top 5 episodes. We're going to run through these 5 to 1. But I'm also going to throw in a few honourable mentions as we go, so make sure you stick around to the end. Okay, at number 5, the episode Twentica. I just find this one really funny. I think it's a really funny episode, but it's also got some fantastic performances from supporting cast as well as the main cast, and a really interesting concept of a world where science is banned and you have to have these illicit science clubs. It's a brilliant concept and a really funny concept. All the jokes to do with like illicit science. Absolutely brilliant. Love the episode. Twentica, my number 5. Okay, my number 4 could be a bit controversial because it's from Series 8. The episode Cassandra. I really do think this is the best episode from Series 8. It does the kind of thing where it strips away a lot of the extra cast and we just get back to having the Dwarfers. The Dwarfers together, stuck on a ship, and it gives, it's kind of got an earlier series feel about it because it's just those guys and gal isolated. So I think it's got a really cool feel, some good banter in there, and I think Geraldine McEwen, who we're so used to seeing as this cute, sweet old lady from Marple, seeing her as a slightly sadistic computer, yeah, I really enjoyed that. So, my number 4, Cassandra. Okay, my number 3 from Series 10, the episode Dear Dave. You see, there's a teenager inside of me that just likes a little bit of immature humour occasionally. So the sight of seeing Lister trying to mount a vending machine, it's just immature, it's stupid, and I kind of like it. There's also a bunch of other immature jokes in this episode and just lots of fun to be had. So, my number 3, Dear Dave. My number 2, Skipper from Series 12. This is, well, it's fan service galore. What can I say? We get loads of callbacks to really early series, even callbacks to the very first episode, The End. Loads of cool callbacks, loads of fan service. I just really enjoy it. It's a really fun one. Great to see the captain's office. Great to see Rimmer as an officer. Great to see just different versions of Red Dwarf. Really enjoyable, just good fun, and you can hear how much the audience are enjoying this one as it goes along. So my number 2, Skipper. So before we get to my number 1, we've got to do a few honourable mentions. I really enjoyed Tikka to Ride from Series 7. I know it kind of splits opinion, this one, but I really like elements of Tikka to Ride. I think it's got a fun concept of them interrupting the assassination of Kennedy and then having to remake it, and the idea that all the conspiracy theories come from the Dwarfers. I think that's a fun concept. There's some other fun stuff in there as well, like the return of the groinal attachment. When is that ever not funny? And one of my favourite visual gags, the lifting of Crichton's head with the little stay like you get on a car bonnet. I absolutely love that visual gag. So definitely a good one for an honourable mention, Tikka to Ride. Also, the very most recent episode, The Promised Land, the Moonlight Talk, really elevated this. It had a really amazing touching scene of Rimmer and Lister talking about how Rimmer is valid and an important member of the crew, and the analogy to moonlight and how that complements the Earth. It's just a brilliant scene, very well written and brilliantly acted. Absolute standout moment from The Promised Land, and really elevates The Promised Land for me, which is why it gets an honourable mention. So my number 1 pick has to go to Stoke Mere Clipper. Could it have been anything else? Stoke Mere Clipper from Series 7 saw the return of Ace Rimmer. Absolutely brilliant. Anytime Ace Rimmer's on screen, it's always going to be a bit of a winner of an episode. Absolutely love seeing Ace Rimmer get that big opening where he's fighting the Nazis and then flying off on a bike. Absolutely crazy. And we got a load of really fun stuff in the artificial reality suite with Lister of Smeg, you know, as a knight, winning the hand of the woman. Absolutely brilliant. So many funny, ridiculous jokes in there, visual jokes as well. Such a great episode, loads of other great stuff thrown in there. I love like the pulling off of the wig and the dumb Rimmer putting it on the wrong way around. Just loads of silly stuff in there. And we've got the departure of Rimmer, which was absolutely brilliant as well. A little touching moment of Rimmer and Lister hugging at the end. Touching moment, great episode, really love it. It's my number 1 from the Doug era. Well, what I'm calling the Doug era. So there you go, guys. That's my top 5 plus 3 honourable mentions from the Doug era. That includes Series 7, Series 8, Back to Earth, Series 10, 11, 12, and The Promised Land. What would be your top 5? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if my top 5 is a dumb choice